Shabbat Shalom, call Halal, Yahweh Shem Yahushua, Hashem Kodash, double honor to the other apostles and other bishops of great millstone, even the elders that came before them. To tell us this truth. Shalom, Shabbat Shalom, and salutations to all the brothers that push the word in truth and in sincerity, the hopeful like tabernacle of David. I'm Eliashuan, back with the World War III Daily Update. Shabbat Shalom and salutations to you all. I'm going to try to keep this extremely short. Let's get covet. Micah 2 and 2 in the NIV. They covet fields and seize them, and houses and take them. They defraud people of their homes. They rob them of their inheritance. In LT, if you want a piece of land, you find a way to seize it. When you take someone's house, you take it by fraud and violence. You cheat a man of his prosperity, stealing his family's inheritance. All right, so this is what these devils specialize in. This is Nate at the Canadian Prepper News. Alert, final moves before the big one. What is the big one? The big woe, the third woe. Woe 3. Okay? Ukraine, Taiwan, Venezuela, Iran. Let's check this out. Nate. Got to bring it back a little bit.
Thinking about your next.
We'll let this guy, I'm going to let him do the intro and then skip to about 3:40. Here's the intro. Take it, Nate.
The United States has decided to make a big move against Venezuela. We are now becoming more involved in the Western Hemisphere, which naturally means we will have to downgrade what we're doing in Europe. And I think that's the real reason the Europeans are freaking out. Britain and the rest of European NATO are not on board with anything that Trump is doing. And they are always looking for ways to force Trump and America to stay committed to the NATO cause in Ukraine. The assumption is that the assassination attempt on Putin was conducted on behalf of the British. And this seems to happen every time Trump gets close. If Trump really does make a move to physically take Greenland from Denmark, there's no way NATO survives that. Right now, Russia's reasserting its power in Europe via Ukraine. The Chinese are doing the same in the Indo-Pacific. Trump is looking around saying we better shore up what we can. Because I see a lot of this as the last moves before kinetic action begins.
Before World War III starts in earnest. I'm going to take it to 3:40, and I'm going to let him speak from there. 3:43, about right there.
Fronts in the same conflict. What you happened today against Venezuela, because of the connectivity that Venezuela has to China and Russia, Iran. But I think it's important to note that this move, I think, was triggered by China's moves in the rare earth mineral market and the silver market recently. Because I was getting a sense, as we were spending months and months and months building up these forces in the Caribbean, I was starting to get the sense that Trump actually was getting gun shy. And ultimately, the reason that he pulled the trigger, I think, is because specifically of what China did with the silver markets going into the new year, where they were putting these high restrictions on silver exports, and it was disrupting pretty much the entire economy as a result. I think also we need to remember that this is part of a larger strategy that was announced right when Trump was inaugurated, which was he said he was going after the Western Hemisphere, basically reasserting U.S. primacy in the Western Hemisphere. And I think Venezuela plays into that strategy. My issue right now, though, is I think that focusing on Venezuela and doing what he's doing in Venezuela, I think is a bit of a distraction in this sense. We have to first control the strategic choke points of Western Hemisphere. So things like the Panama Canal, the Drake Passage down
Greenland,
which is that waterway separating, very narrow waterway separating Antarctica from South America, which the Chinese have complete control over right now. We need to control those choke points first, and then start worrying about whatever military action we're talking about doing in Venezuela, because Venezuela could become a major problem if the regime collapses and there's chaos and we can't actually access the kind of resources Trump is telling everybody he can access.
And
Another
just so
key
people
stri-
know,
sorry.
just to timestamp this video, because Maduro has been captured, just so people know this is
Yes,
after, but you're talking
yes.
about the regime that you're saying is still in place there,
Well,
okay?
Delcy Rodriguez is what was the vice president. She's now elevated to the president. Her brother, Jorge, I believe is his name, is the head of the parliament, the National Assembly. Padrino Lopez, the defense minister, has been made more powerful. And Diosdado Cabello, who is the interior minister. And I think that the
Okay, so I'm gonna go ahead and stop it right there and try to sum it up. What he's saying is um, the final moves before the big one. So basically, he's saying because of the geography of the globe, right, we have to be able to control the points, right, that are going to protect us, right? So that's why these moves are being made before the next set of last moves, which would probably be who our actual allies are going to be, because allies are what the kind of final moves before the big one that are being made right here is the EU said, fuck Babylon. We'll do this on our own and we'll shoot our missiles at you. Those are the kind of final moves that are being made too. So those things got to be taken into consideration. The big winding arm movements that Trump is doing, scaring his own allies, right? And then in the end, we already know, right? All your, I'll just get Obadiah. Obadiah 1 and 7. I think it's 7. So okay, Badiah. Oh, Shabbat Shalom. Call Halalia. How about Shemi? Obadiah 1 and 7. And this is specifically for Esau, but it could be used in the situation. All your allies, Obadiah 1 and 7 in NLT, all your allies will turn against you. They will help chase you from your land. They will promise you peace while plotting to deceive and destroy you. Trusted friends will set traps for you, and you won't even know about it. So, yeah, that's what's going on.
Justice Minister as well, but I know he's the Interior Minister. He is really the head of this so-called cartel of the Suns, which supposedly is why Trump went in to deal with. But ultimately, right now, it looks like removing Maduro just strengthened the regime because now more competent players are taking over. Because really, Maduro, as you can see from these videos of him, he was sort of this like
chill. He was a chill dude. What that move really strengthened was Iran's oil production, because now China is getting all of their oil from Iran. Now that Venezuela's oil has been confiscated, if you will. So with that, I'll leave it right there. These are the types of things, they're just getting everything in position before they call it what it is, World War III. Let's call it that right now. Let's call it that on the way out. Rev 11:14 in any language. The second woe has passed. Behold, the third woe is coming shortly. With that, we hope that pray that the elect are edified. You brothers and few sisters, with that, we're going to say Shabbat Shalom.